The happiness teachings are in a league of their own. They're beyond left field, dwelling outside the park altogether. And it's because they're so simple, which makes practicing them frustrating. It's like not being able to see your own nose. I'm a pragmatic guy, raised in the flatlands of the Midwest. Lake Wobegon is my ancestral land. Although I'm fundamentally a glass half full person, I've learned to face the reality that our species, Homo sapiens, literally us wise guys, need a wake-up call. We need to return to the inherent wisdom based on our connection to the sacredness of life, or else Spaceship Earth may shed us like a bunch of bad fleas. The happiness teachings I'll share in this book are sometimes called the primordial pure medicine that cures all disease, and we, as a species, are in an acute state of dis-ease. Although these teachings have been esoteric, kept secret amongst adepts since time immemorial, I'm not betraying any secrets here. They're not like state secrets, they're self-secrets. They're already within you, but like your nose, they're hard to see without tools and training. In past centuries, these happiness teachings were taught only to monks and nuns, as it takes years of preparation for us to become innocent enough to see through our projections onto reality. It can take decades upon decades to remove the dust in our eyes. Otherwise, we don't really see the world in front of us. We see our interpretation of it. The happiness teachings practice clean our lenses, and the clarity, luminosity, and brilliance of what has always been there shines through. The happiness teachings are ancient technologies of mind training, mind taming, and heart opening that brings us to a profound joy of life. They are a psychological training of ultimate well-being. It could be called brillianting or happying your world. To have these happiness teachings work for you, you may need a new set of glasses. Traditionally, this is called establishing the view. Your view doesn't change because you have a brilliant makeover. When we deprogram the filter of meing, sacredness is awakened. The happiness teachings give us the opportunity to experience the world as a more spacious, lighter, more lovely, and kinder. The brain, heart, mind, body lighten up. In other words, we don't improve. We just let go of what's been blocking our view. When I lead workshops, I often begin by asking how many folks know they're crazy. How many realize they have a crazy person talking to them inside of their heads day and night? Most hands fly up and I say, okay, I'm talking to my people. These Buddhist-based happiness teachings are ancient and immediate, and it's said that they could be understood under either of two conditions. When a culture is so evolved that compassion and interconnectedness are embedded in its purpose, or when a culture is so spinning out of control that life is losing its meaning and our treadmill-like machinations no longer have a sacred purpose or context. In the late 20th century, our species found a technological mate for our discursive minds, the cell phone. We're always within arm's reach of entertainment, information, and distraction. Discursive minds and cell phones go together like peanut butter and jam, and are the perfect match for not really occupying our lives. Smartphones and social media encourage us to need confirmation constantly, and help us tune out the world of brilliant nowness that's always present. We substitute speed and distraction for connection, another step in disconnecting our body and minds, our hearts, and our presence. In the process, we lose what gives a life value. Another question I ask folks at the beginning of a workshop is, do you hope to help the world with your life? Do you hope to bring more love and joy to yourself and others? I've asked these questions to a lot of people, and it seems obvious that we all want to benefit the planet and become more loving and lovely. We seem to have an innate desire to serve and uplift. There's a modern dis-ease called FOMO, fear of missing out. We suspect something awesome is taking place nearby, and we want to be a part of it. We're in constant search and acquire mode, trying to get something we think we don't already have, and our inherent interest in true joy gets hidden in the hazy fog of doing. Milton Erickson calls this our everyday trance. The happiness I'm talking about might require the floor to drop out, losing a loved one, receiving a terminal diagnosis, reeling from a divorce, or recovering from a life-changing accident before we get curious about it. Abiding happiness may be easier to access when our fragile but unquestioned sense of self takes a hit and our everyday trance is cracked. This book assumes you've had an opening like this, that the earth has shaken beneath your feet, a rug has been pulled out, awakening you. Traditionally, the happiness teachings were transmitted from a teacher who abides in spacious awareness to a student ready to open to the unconditional. But in these heady, speedy times, that transmission may need to take place reading a book, being with a friend, or experiencing a moment of grace. We're wound as tightly as compressed springs, and just a little release can explode into a heartfelt opening, a profound presence beyond our everyday self-absorption. The good thing about banging your head against the wall is how great it feels when you stop. Does any of this sound familiar? If you're ready to join me on this journey, here's what I'd recommend we take along. Number 1, a never-ending sense of humor. Number 2, irrepressible curiosity. Number 3, Olympian discipline. And number 4, boundless exertion, all with the intent of relaxing into what's right in front of us. We'll be going in 2 directions at once. One is deconstructing the story that separates us from out there. And the other is a willingness to experience real happiness, big league joy that embraces wisdom and compassion. We start by deconstructing the filter of what we think and allow ourselves to enjoy. We will take tiny glimpses of space without cranking up the anxiety of next. We'll relax over and over into the simplicity of our beingness, which is our birthright. If you squeeze an orange, you'll get orange juice. If you squeeze an apple, you'll get apple juice. If you squeeze a human being, you get beingness, which is wisdom and compassion. It sounds simple, but facing life without a me is pretty hard to do. We love our stories and our doubts. We like our iPhone babysitter validating us, even when it's negative. Problems are, bizarrely, a comfort. The noise in our head feels like proof of me, so the next logical step is to give it what it wants. We are oblivious to our natural goodness. We can't imagine inherent ease. The present moment, the power of now, is contaminated by anxiety about what's next. The embracing space of now can be frightening and not feel like home at all. Being here now may sound simple, so let's just do that now thing now. But as soon as you say now, it's already then. When Mr. or Mrs. Now come a-callin', we say, not now, I'm on hold with tech support. We're convinced we don't have the right to relax or to celebrate presence. Or we think now we'll ride in on a white horse like Joan of Arc and spectacular fireworks of bliss will explode in our brains. But now is ordinary, more like a houseless person we walk by without seeing. We promise we'll get around to now later, when we finish this or that. Our minds are engaged in struggles and even wars. The busyness that occupies our lives will not go gently into the light. This stuff has kept us intact, centered around the belief in me and mind, and now it's imprisoning us. For a journey into happiness teachings, we've got to have fun. The brain likes joy. Examining our foibles and inner emotional struggles and pains will be hard. It's brave work. But the glimpses of joy and experience of sacredness are also in our nature, ready to lighten the journey. A spiritual journey doesn't require a furrowed brow or unmitigated seriousness. The joy of presence, the nature of our being, will peek through. It's a dance of many dimensions, but we do get to dance, and that's always good. Nothing stays for long. The music keeps changing: doom, gloom, depression, highs, lows, fast, slow, staccato, frustration, and exhilaration. The secret is the relentless drive to be happy. In neurological terms, it's called conservation. The desire for happiness is a good thing and has been conserved. Yearning for happiness is in our DNA. Many of us rarely miss a meal, are seldom forced to sleep out in the cold, and dominate our surroundings. Yet we yearn for a little more comfort, a faster car, a higher high, in order to feel we can really relax, that we've made it to the mountaintop and can finally breathe deeply. We live like kings and queens of a century ago. We fly in jets, eat foods from all over the world, and have big box fulfillment centers within 50 miles guaranteed. We have it all, and yet we keep looking for love in all the wrong places. Here's the ask. Try the simple happiness hits that I offer, and see if a tiny glimpse of awakening ignites in you that prevents you from returning to the everyday trance. In the spirit of the quotation attributed to Einstein, that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Try a happiness intervention, what I call happiness hits. Set aside 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks, perhaps 4 minutes first thing in the morning, and 6 happiness tokes of a minute each throughout the day. These practices may be challenging because they make you pause and break the momentum of being on autopilot. You can set a phone timer, a positive use of your cell phone, until the pause becomes a habit. From experience, I know that if you do the fundamental 5 happiness igniters for 2 weeks, they will begin to reset your nervous system. These experiences will prime your heart and train your senses to allow more happiness in. I say 10 minutes after a lot of trial and error. More than that, and it can feel like a should, which is usually deadly. As a practitioner in the healing arts for 25 years, I learned that the best awakening programs are the one you'll actually do, not the ones you should do. These technologies can be integrated simply into a busy schedule, so hopefully more than a few monastics can practice them. Dream of an awakening tipping point after which you see sacredness and joy in your life. I begin the book with the fundamental 5 and hope a spark ignites in you so that the rest of the book is simply a pleasure to weave into your life. The joy of presence, which is the nature of our being, will peek throughout the day. The motivation to go deeper comes from that. There's nothing more precious than melting into the profound presence of your own heart. The happiness teachings are like a treasure map, and it may take a little faith at first to believe the map is for real. Why not dream of an awakening tipping point, a time when you, I, and so many others of our fellow human beings see sacredness and joy in our lives?